So if you would tell me what your name is.
Sherry Greek.
Sherry, what was your major problem when you came to me?
I was experiencing severe bloating, which was also just impacting my day-to-day life. It would kind of seemingly come out of nowhere, and I was to a point where it was hard to sit, it was hard to stand, I'd want to lay down, and therefore had no energy to do certain things. It felt like there was kind of like a bowling ball sitting on my stomach, and then along with that was experiencing a lot of um, gas and all the things that come with that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Now, how old are you?
I am 29.
You are definitely on the younger end of the scale that I work with, because I work with women that are in their 50s and 60s and some even in their 70s that want to get better. But some of those ladies, they started just like you, but they never got help, and they ended up on this cascade that just got worse and worse. They go to the modern medical professionals, and they try to treat just the symptoms, and they really don't dig deep enough to find out what the actual problem was. So when you came to me, we talked. We did I guess basically a consultation, kind of got some background, and then we did some testing.
Yes.
And the testing really helped us identify, I think, probably some of the root causes of the problem. Then we
Yes.
made some dietary modifications. We added some supplements, and then the hard work was up to you, which meant you had to change your eating habits, change some things. And then how long was it before you started seeing results?
Trying to think. I feel like so we started the first 30 days were pretty tough, making all those changes. And also definitely experienced the die-off symptoms at the beginning, because we found that I did have candida, which was also helpful because I had always suspected I had a gluten allergy, and the tests, showed that I didn't. So that was really helpful to kind of clear that up for me. But I just want to speak to the die-off symptoms because for me, it was a real sign too that there was something wrong. The way my body reacted when I took out all the junk, and I thought I was eating clean, but when I had to really sit with myself and track and just kind of follow the app and go through that, it was just so interesting. The first like 4 days when my body rebelled so much. So I'm trying to think. I want to say it really, I mean, by the end of the 30 days, I already was experienced like starting to feel better. And then I do remember I just felt like something clicked after I think 3 months, where it felt like it was just, I had reached more of like a steady state of improvement.
Yeah,
And now I think it's been about 6 months since we started.
yeah. So it's really a process.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is a process, and it builds. And the beautiful thing is that by removing the foods that were aggravating and by killing the foods that were also causing inflammation, it allowed your body to do what it does best, which is heal itself. The
Yeah.
physician within is key. And
Yeah.
letting that work, I think, was ultimately, what got you better. Remove the things that cause trouble, add the things that are necessary, and then add time. And you were patient, you moved through it. We had a couple of little hiccups here and there where, you felt bad, or
Yeah.
but you stayed with it. You stayed with it, and then you hit a point where you reached stability. So I'm super proud of you. I think you really did a great job. But back to the die off. Were you discouraged? Did you ever think I gotta quit?
Yes. If I'm
Yeah,
being completely honest, only because it makes you think that you start to not feel good, but that's truly just your body trying to get rid of those toxins. But it's actually really interesting if you read about it, and I'm sure of course, but it really, your gut controls your mind and all of those things. It's so interesting how like I felt like needed to be locked in a padded room, but to me during those days, but to me that was insane because it's like why would someone think like how could this control this? And to me that only further did though confirm that
yeah,
I was being controlled by something, and this this, like that candida, that dysbiosis in my gut, needed to be fixed.
Yeah. And you did
Yeah.
a great job, and you got to a good place though, right?
Yeah. And like you were speaking to earlier about, there are going to be hills and valleys along the way, but that's how you learn. And also real life comes in sometimes where something happens and, you may eat something and you feel a little discouraged. Um, but I do think it is a process. I came to you because I was a sick individual. I did have something wrong. I'm not like some other people who don't have a gut dysbiosis and can get away with drinking these Starbucks sugar laden drinks every day. You know what I mean?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
other things. But anyway, point
Yeah.
being, it's going to take some time. And I didn't come in with an expectation that I would be completely healed in a month.
Mhm.
And healing does take time.
Yeah, 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 that's true. So if someone else is struggling with a health issue, a chronic condition
Yeah.
similar to yourself, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, gastrointestinal issues, would you recommend that they try functional medicine?
Absolutely. I think sometimes too, sometimes when you're in it, you know you're in pain, but for some reason you just kind of live with it for a while too, and
Mhm.
you don't take that first step. I really think making the call is the biggest hump, and once you get over it, and I definitely felt only comfortable going to functional medicine. I think everything, when I looked to conventional medicine, I didn't see a way that someone uh, or any kind of group really wanted to help me from the inside out. My one-on-one consultation with you, that first the long call that I called originally, but the first consultation call that I had with you, I mean, I cried. Like I was just like, I felt so seen, so heard. Everything you said, I felt like you were reading my mind. And I also felt like the way you talked through everything I was going through and how what my body was doing to me, it made so much sense. And you only ever talked about wanting to heal me and how healing these symptoms would heal me overall. And um it just felt like somebody who really wanted to see somebody get better.
Yeah,
And the level of care, I think, is so different having a functional medicine doctor than conventional medicine. I really think there's a lot greater flexibility in that patient physician relationship. It is just so different with functional medicine. And I say that to you, to credit you and any functional medicine doctor as well. There is such a difference.
yeah. I kind of think about it. I think it's closer to being a coach and a
Yeah.
cheerleader in a sense, right? Because I mean I obviously have to get paid for what I do, but the joy is seeing people have their lives restored. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of ways to make a living, but when you can make a living being a blessing and a benefit to other people, it really makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, I think coach is a really great word, because I think sometimes that gets a little gray, like because there's uncredentialed coaches out there, right? And it's funny that so many people turn to those types of coaches when we have, MDs and doctors, but it's because people need the coaching. And so I think when it comes to functional medicine, it's actually the best of both worlds, because you have an accredited physician who also can provide that coaching. They're not overburdened and working in a conventional medicine system that makes them push patients through and is, I think, like you said, a large part of our relationship and our process has been the coaching. And I mean, it is so necessary and a big part of what's gone the past few months that I'm most thankful for as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for being vulnerable and sharing with other people. I know that will be a benefit and a blessing to folks. So I just want to thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you are
So,
struggling with a chronic condition and would like more information, feel free to visit www.birminghamfunctionalmedicine.com. You are also welcome to set up a phone or Zoom consultation with Dr. Dailey at www.talktodrd.com.